welcome to Events Uncovered TV. I'm your host, Silvia Pellegrini. Don't forget to sign up for Events Uncovered Academy, the online events resource center that allows event professionals to learn and share. Just go to eventsuncovered.tv/academy. Joining me today is Mark Jones. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hi, how you doing? Very good, thank you, Sylvia.
What is the future for technology at events?
Well, I think technology for events has really only just started to be taken on board. I think there's certainly a lot of thinking within the event space with event people that they all like technology. I think they all feel technology has an increasingly important place within the events industry. I think some of them are somewhat a little bit unsure or nervous about which technology to choose. I think there's also a growing number of some great content providers, people who are doing interactive presentations, people who are creating obviously show guide apps, event apps, selfies, social media. And the whole thing has really started because of this, the smartphone device. You know, the smartphone, everybody has one, everybody uses one. You know, they're changing our world dramatically. And everybody, you know, in the fast-paced moving world of technology, the smartphone is definitely here to stay.
Okay, so everybody's got a smartphone, everybody uses a smartphone, and a lot of the at events, everybody look at a smartphone throughout. So what is next?
Well, the challenge is to get them away from looking at their smartphone and get them looking at the event, the exhibitors, the other fellow delegates, their fellow colleagues at the show, and to get them looking at social media on a wider scale. So get their heads up from the floor and looking at their phone and start them looking in the wider space, using technology to attract their attention, engage the audience, and inform them about all the lovely details and information and activities that are going on around the event. But also to use the technology as an activity to help people engage more with what's going on at the event and collaborate and engage more with the exhibitors and with each other. So they come to a show and they use technology as a very effective tool to help them get the most from the event and the most from the show, rather than spend all their time following up emails and doing tweets that they may not necessarily need to be doing at that time.
Okay, now that is great. I mean, so you're saying that technology should help and it will help in the future to actually interact and engage people more at events, but within the event itself, not just looking at their phone. So how can you do that?
Well, there's lots of different ways. We do it through interactive technology, through touchscreen technology.
Okay.
So we take the premise of the smartphone, which I have here, my own smartphone, and here you see behind me something very similar, which is a large format smartphone. You know, we decided many years ago, from my experience of working in touchscreens, that the best way to engage people was to give them something that's familiar and something that they already know how to use. You know, everybody already knows how to use one of these. So we create touchscreen technology in a familiar format in a way works just like an Android or an iOS smartphone and provides the digital content for the exhibitor or the show organizer or the sponsor to be presented in the same way as we presented on a smartphone, but on a larger scale. And that creates a very cohesive and connected experience between what you're wanting them to do on the screen at the show and what you're actually wanting them to do here. So you can create a connected experience between the two.
And I really like the idea that you mentioned a few stakeholders there. I mean, it's not just about getting the attendee to look at the content, for example, on a larger scale, but you actually interacting with the attendee from the event planner's point of view and also from the sponsors. So everybody can actually take part.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody can take part in today's interactive technology. Everybody does take part. It's about also thinking about the nature of the content and how you present it and making that content relevant to the different stakeholders involved in these lovely big events all over the world. You know, sponsoring, creating interactive platforms where a sponsor can present themselves and their brand in a more favourable way, allowing people to access more information so that they can find out more about a sponsor or an exhibitor if they choose to. So giving it to them in interactive form allows them to interact with the larger device, with the touchscreen device, allows them to discover and explore for themselves the information that they're interested in. And not just feed that information like standard digital signage, which is a series of different screensavers. Here, give them an interactive device where they can find out for themselves the bits that they're most interested in. And of course, because it's interactive, everybody can use it to find out lots of different things. The beauty of digital technology is you can put so much information all in one space and have that as a content management system with all the information accessible for everybody. And each individual person can then go on that device and explore the pieces of the information about the event that they're most interested in.
Okay, so how can people get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with us primarily through our website, which is giantitab.com. I've got a badge here with our name on it, Giant iTab, giantitab.com.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for joining us today and for sharing your great knowledge with us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for the time, Sylvia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if you are a member of Events Uncovered Academy, log into the members area where my guest Mark will be sharing exclusive content. And if you are not a member, head over to www.eventsuncovered.tv/academy and register today. So Mark, what are you going to reveal in the next 15 minutes?
What are we going to reveal in the next 15 minutes? Well, probably some interactive information about case studies and performances and technology provisions that we've made with individual partners and how that has affected them. Cases where your listeners could well be in a similar position and want to use the same type of technology in the same application to add relevance and interaction and engagement for their own events.
Brilliant. So until next time, this is Silvia Pellegrini from Events Uncovered TV.